It's happening. All right, guys, the moment you never thought you were going to see, M5 Performance goes electric. Look, my lawnmower's electric, my car's electric, my weed eater's electric, my blower's electric. That sounded bad. My leaf blower's electric, and now the eliminator goes electric. Okay, here's the deal. Parts as provided from Rattlesnake RC at allrc1.com. Look at that empty dog bed. Where's that dog? Anyway, he don't like electric stuff. He's a Nitro dog all the way. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to strip this thing down because, as I say, this is the strangest moment in time where I'm going to build an electric boat. Scratch that. I'm going to convert a Nitro boat to electric. A lot of guys have asked, so we're going to do it. Okay? Used batteries, that's fine. We're going to put them in. It'll get us started and get us moving. Let's do this. Let's find out what this weighs, and we will compare that after we get it converted. And you'll kind of know where things stand, right? Rocking the GoPro. See, this is why Jackson's not in the dog bed, because I needed to use it for the tips of the boat. Alright, see what we got here. Sorry about the electronic noise occurring. We've got helmets on the Barbie. Or on the Bebo, as it were. Okay, here we go. Was that zeroed? 0. Hope you guys can see that. 11.2 pounds. What's 0.2? 2 ounces? 4 ounces? I should know these things. The beauty is that the boat's got 5 ounces added to it already. So what we'll do is we'll eliminate that 5. And I think that we can shove these little beauties, because gosh, they're heavy, man. But we'll get these guys all the way up in here somehow. We'll make this happen. Let's take a look. Alright, the beauty of this boat is it's got this kind of wide open design here. Obviously I can get a battery up in there. A little bit tougher over here. Got a radio box. This was when I was still too nervous about putting receivers outside of a radio box. It's going out now because we got a battery going in right here. We'll cut all this open. One way or another, we'll get a battery in here. And all this nasty nitro stuff that you guys hate so much, it's all going bye-bye. Now we're going to do things a little different than what I've seen done in the past. It is very common to use these large connectors on the motor. And, oh, in fact, I have, sorry for spinning you around, I have a motor here that I can show you. I have this one because I'm going to pull the water jacket off and use it. You can see this uses the large connectors. Hope you can see this okay. And as you can see, they're nice and clean. This motor's been run a bunch. Connectors are clean, look pretty good. No problem. But a super common feature that you always see in these things, don't know why, is a smaller connector. This here smaller guy used on this little doodad. Big ones here where the batteries hook up. No, where the motor hooks up. Smaller ones over here where the battery hook up, but can you see the discoloration on this? I don't know if you can see that. The speed control has been run and raced and has won many, many races and championship. I have no idea if I'm pointing this in the right spot. That bluing that is occurring here is telling us that this is experiencing a lot of heat. What's heat do to electrical stuff? It slows the little electrons down. Them guys hit a wall when they get to that heat, and they get really, really mad. When they get angry, they get really, really hot. And this is what happens. Well, electrons like surface area. You know, they don't actually swim through the conductor. They travel on the exterior of the conductor, and that's why cabling, like this is really soft, so I know cabling that's going to pull a lot of current is multi-strand. It also makes it really nice and flexible, but there'll be tons of really fine strands in here because our little electron guys are on a foot race down the outside of all of those strands. So the larger, the better. It's going to conduct more little electron buddies, and it's not going to get hot. This is slowing you down. This is causing trouble. Not going to do that no more. We're going to change all this to large connectors on the battery as well. Look at that. Look at that. Come on, man. No, we're not going to do it like that. We're also going to use a conductive grease compound on that that'll prevent this even more. And grease is really slippery, right? So we're going to use this silicone conductive grease that allows the electrons just to slide right on by. And we're going to get more of this into this. It's my theory, right? That's all I got. All right, we're going to get busy. We're going to rip all of this stuff out of here. I don't need to teach you how to do that. If you've got a nitro boat and you want to convert it, you know how to get this garbage out. Look at all that extra stuff. Man, we don't need that. Okay, we're going to make all this go away, and we'll start chopping. I'll show you more as we go, all right? Okay, we're back, and boy, have we got a lot to talk about. So thus far, I've stripped all of the pieces out of the boat. And Jackson, did you hear my voice? He's deaf, okay? Almost completely deaf. He must have heard me there. What a good boy. Anyway, as you can see, everything's out. And I've kind of been playing with how things fit a little bit, and I think I got it a little bit figured out. Discovered something interesting right here. It was interesting to me. This is where I had my, here it is, throttle servo mounted, and just a short little doodah straight to the carburetor, right? Simple and light, except it's a big servo. I use the little minis now, but I didn't have that courage at this time. This boat's 2 years old. That's ancient technology for me. But anyway, apparently, with this guy laying on the ground right in front of the carburetor, genius, right? Of course, it gathered a whole ton of nitro under there and has eaten the floor up a little bit here, and that really hurts my sensibilities. So I'm going to cut this mount out. I was going to try to leave all my nitro stuff in it, but I'm going to make that go away, and you'll see why in a minute, and get this all cleaned up. Soak a little alcohol on there, try to pull those oils out and get that resealed. But right now, we're going to talk about rudders, speed controls, motor mounts. Like I said, it's only been a few seconds since the video switched from the boat all together to the boat all apart, but it's been 2 sleepless nights for me as I ponder the mysteries of electric motors. Now, from time to time, no offense, but at the races I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to electric boats, other than I kind of watch them a little bit and I say, gee, that's kind of neat. And I walk by guys' pits and I help them throw their boats and that kind of stuff. But I'll hear guys talking about heat and that these motors get really hot, connectors get hot. We already talked about that. Speed controls get hot. And I've always wondered, well, why don't you do something about it? Apparently you can run more blade. Now in RC Unlimiteds we have a diameter rule for the props. But if you could push more blade, if you kept the motor cool, well, why wouldn't you want to do that? So I've been pondering how I'm going to make that happen. Now, this is the rudder. You've seen these if you run nitro. This is real common for the nitro motors, single pickup, right? This one's a stubby. This little boat here turns on a dime with a stubby little rudder, so I'm not going to drag big metal through the water if I don't have to. It also has, by the way, a little bit of a trick. It's not really a trick, but you've probably noticed on Speedmaster rudders that they have this beautiful flat spot right here. And that's not a problem if this is above your, the bottom of your hull. I tend to run really low profile boats, and this part winds up facing water below the hull. No bueno. I go in and cut this. No bueno means no problem, or that means no good. Gosh. I go in and I cut this part here out, and I cut the top off of it, and the little hole I drill out and it becomes the big hole, and then I'll drill a new shear hole, and you wind up with something that looks like this. This one's been through the mill. It's been actually on a couple different boats, but that's why I kind of eliminate that portion. So that's just that's a bonus extra. So anyway, I'm trying to replicate this, but I got to do it with a dual water pickup. And I want to drive more water to the boat, to the speed control and the motor. Well, and here's why. Check this thing out. Look at the size of these tubes. You know, if the speed control is going to have these big giant water fittings on it, there's probably a reason for that. Where is, oh, here you go. This is a 1/8 inch shank Dremel bit, and this thing is more than 1/8 inch. Well, you look at new rudder, and even the pickup holes are way less than 1/8 of an inch. The holes that go down through the rudder are less than 1/8 of an inch. And then what are we going to do? We're going to put this fitting on there. It's a whole lot less than 1/8 of an inch. And now we're going to run it through some regular fuel line, well, water line, whatever you want to call it. And we have drastically limited the water supply that we're going to get to this thing. So we're going to change that. I figure, what are you going to do? There's no room here to put bigger fittings on. Need a solution. Here's what I've done. This one I've already done some of the work. It's difficult to tell here. This upper hole, this is 1/8 of an inch. I chucked this up in the mill, measured the angle. It's 5 degrees. Give it a little angle. Pow! 1/8 of an inch all the way down. Then I have a long shank drill bit, and I go 1/8 of an inch all the way down through here. Really risky, because man, it almost comes out all the way down, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to do it again on this one. But we still have our problem of our fitting, right? How are we going to solve that? No mas fittings. This is stainless hypodermic. They call it hypodermic tubing, because there's no seams, really nice and smooth, really cool stuff. 165 on the outside, 135 on the inside. It's what I've used in my fuel tanks for a long, long time. It's a nightmare to bend it, by the way. Don't ask me how I do it. It's a booger. But, as I say, it's 135 on the inside. So I thought, why not cut some threads? Which I have tapped onto there. No, I've used a die. And this now, with a little bit of, not with this angle, this is a discard. This is now a little bit of JB weld in there, my new fitting. Cut it off, you know, yay. Probably solder a little ring around there so it has a little flare. It'll hold the tubing on. And presto, I got an 1/8 inch all the way through. That's 125. Comes up to my 135. We'll put on extra large tubing, which is huge. And voila, more water. Still got a problem here, right? Because we're going to want to keep this guy cool. And it's got these little tiny fittings on there. Well, regular fittings, but little tiny holes. My God, we're going to drill these boogers out. Maybe replace them. I haven't decided yet. Once I get this pushed off of this motor, I'll be able to see what that water jacket looks like inside there, hopefully. And I'll kind of make some determination from that, how far I want to go. I don't know if I'll go out to full 125, or maybe I'll even use this trick here, right? We'll see. Maybe we can keep this thing cool and put a ton of prop on it. Oh boy. Mount. Rattlesnake RC. That's where this thing comes from. It's got cooling on it too, which is interesting. I wish I knew how much, how large that track in there was, the actual size of the water passage. Because again, we're down to small fittings here. I haven't seen guys using these, but maybe I can accomplish it. Anyway, I thought we'd mount this thing really quick, and see what we got. So here we go. Oh, see, I don't like that. The washer won't fit. There's another problem. I'm gonna have to find a solution to that, because that bothers me. I'm a washer guy. I like washers under bolts. See, that bothers me. The head of the bolt laying against a slot. Can you see that? I'm sure it's fine, but yeah. Don't be like me. My life is hard. Much harder than it needs to be. Okay, so that goes there. Oh, here's the thing. I noticed this the other day when I was farting around with it. This is a 40mm clamp on a 39mm motor. So I think, no problem, I'll go find a 39mm. Nope, nobody has it. So it's loose. So what I'm going to do is I'll get a little bit of rubber tape, something, wrap it around once I figure out where I want it. And then this will be nice and snug. But it ain't right now. So we are going to pick the middle hole. We'll go the middle hole in the mount and the middle hole in the bracket. Why not, right? Did you know that the average American, when you're given 3 choices, do you want large, medium, or small? You say, well, I'll take a medium. You want to put the top hole, the bottom hole, the middle hole, off, put it in the middle. It's a well-known marketing situation. That ain't gonna work. Backwards. This is an exciting video. Hey, you guys wanted to know how to do it. Okay, that's got to be right. Yeah. Now the back. I want as much support as possible, so we'll go to the far rear. Probably have to anyway, because once the water jacket's on there, yeah. And you'd want to. It's just better support. The further apart your mounts are, the more stable the component is, according to the Myers made-up engineering theory. And I use a really low profile, as I say, hull, and I tend to try to make my shafts run really low, so I'm going to put this in the bottom of the slot, and I have a feeling that's going to be close. When you flat spot this deal, you're going to put this guy on as far as you can get away with without it hitting the housing. Right? Further out it is, the less stable. You know what? This is the first time an electric motor will have sat in an M5 performance boat. Oh, this hurts me. Yeah. I mean, that looks pretty doggone close. Just so happens I have prepared, let's see. This is just my favorite little alignment tool. This will fit snug inside the stuffing box, and this end will go into a quarter drive. This end is quarter, and it'll go into a round collet fitting. We'll just use a round one for now. I'm actually going to quarter drive this boat, and the strut is going to take the thrust. The motor is not. Might be a mistake. Okay. Now you would say that guy is aligned. According to theory, this will fit. Maybe not. Yeah, baby. All right. I'd cross my fingers, but I need them all right now. Oh, I can already tell this is awesome. Okay, a little bit of clearance there. We could drop to our second hole here, go down just a tiny bit, and we're there. Look at that. Now here's the thing. I've maybe you guys can tell me, make a comment on this. I understand that the carbon rails of the motor mount simply get epoxied to the boat. And reading the instructions for the motor mount, of which they were very few, but they were there, they say all these holes, it's hard to see them now probably, along the bottom, the idea is for the epoxy to ooze through the holes and give it something to grab onto, which is good, because carbon fiber is hard to grab onto. It's so smooth. For the epoxy to grab onto, that is. And so I get that, but here's the deal. Oh, in fact, you know what? It's probably just, it is, I can't believe it. It might actually be dead nuts, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of G10, If you've seen my videos before, Jeep 10 is like a pre-made fiberglass plate, but they're really, really hard. It's very heavy, but it's really hard, really flat, and wonderful to work with. I buy it in big sheets, and when you need to make a piece, you just cut a chunk out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece, and it's going to bolt down using my original motor mount holes for my Nitro. Remember I said I wanted to keep it where it can convert easily. And I'll make that plate. No snacks right now. Can't you see I'm doing a video? Do I normally walk around with this thing on my head? Hang on, serious. So we're going to make a plate that'll bolt in there, and this will glue to the plate, and we are really close right now. We are really close. That's going to work out awesome. Okay, now we have figured that out, and that is simple. Let me show you what I've been, here's what I've really been messing with, is figuring out what I'm going to do with these guys. Fuel tanks came out of here, and so obviously this one is awesome. Boom. I'll shove a piece of pool noodle in right here, and that'll hold the battery up in place. Maybe put a little foam up above it. That guy's in and out, easy. This side, remember we talked about the radio box? The rear wall of the radio box here is going to have to go away. And I believe this one will fit standing up in through here and should land right there if I've been living right. Next component. Someone give me the thumbs up or thumbs down on this. I've heard some people say these things aren't any good. As I say, this one has won championships and drives a boat rocket fast. So we're going to see if it works. But anyway, my thought process. Oh, let me show you this. You might see it's got some Velcro on the bottom. The way Bill had been doing it with this one in the past is just sticking it on like that. And apparently it works just fine, and it stays. It's just, you know me, that, not cool. And besides, if I'm trying to keep a thing cool, speaking of not cool, and I'm trying to keep this cool, why do I want to put the two together and capture heat? No, we're going to mount them separate. So this goes away. Velcro, yeah, I think that's going to work. But right here. Okay? I'm going to have to do a little carving over here because I don't like, you know, interference on the wiring, but I think that is how we're going to do that. Real simple wiring, bing bada boom, we're there. And then it's going to freak you guys out. I don't know if you do this. Waterproof. This is what I do with all my boats now. That's why I use the Sanwa. You know, I realize you can take some other receivers and servos and seal them up, but this is already ready to rock and roll. She's just going to lay it right there. New tube. I don't know if you can see that. The tube makes a bend and comes out into the radio box for the antenna. I'm a coward. I do not leave my antenna under the deck. So we're going to run a new tube, and it'll just make a bend over to the side here. Antenna will come right up where it did before. This unit here requires a separate battery for the receiver. That guy's going to Velcro down right there. So our whole layout. Bingo! Look at that. All my weight, see where my turn fin is? All of my weight positioned right in line with my CG. So the boat swings around like a tether ball on that turn fin because all the weight is straight out from it. That's the plan. That's how it's going down. I got to get to work. I might wrap this video up and make another one. Let me know in the comments on that too. Do you want big giant videos where you see me build all of this stuff? Or do you like these kind of updates where I show you what I have done? If I'm going to show you the building process, they're going to be long, boring videos. So Jackson is already bored, so we're wrapping up this one. Thanks for watching. Hey, give it a like, okay? I mean, if you dig this kind of thing. If you don't dig it, that's fine. Just move on, but don't give me a thumbs down, for gosh sakes. Give me a like if you like it. Subscribe. I'm going to put that little round ball up here somewhere you can subscribe if you'd like to see more of this kind of stuff. And give me a comment. Let me know what you want to see, okay?